Pankaj sir, am I correct?
Right, sir. Whenever we define a string, that time if I will assign again value, then it will again allocate memory. Again, things will happen as a new string. What happen will in the string builder? Everything will get append inside string builder. So their actual memory or allocation will be same. Only the value will change inside string builder. Right, Gyan?
Means difference is like
Right.
string is immutable, string builders are mutable, and we are using string builder when we are having like many operation, like we are doing some assigning multiple times or replacing some characters, so we can use string builder that time.
Right. Any other question? You got the answer first or not?
Yes, sir, I got. But this string is as we know, immutable, and we replace the string replace the old value. It means, but my question is that I have assigned a string variable, and I have set set it as hello, and again after new line, I have in I append value new in my current variable by adding plus equal to something extra, like hello, how are you? Then um, we are seeing that value is adding. So the question interviewer always ask, what are the difference string? We are doing the same way. Then how you say that string and string?
Difference is in terms of the memory. In string, it will allocate a different memory allocation when we are replacing the existing value.
Might be Dharmendra.
Yes.
This example I have seen somewhere. You are referring to Stack Overflow or C# Corner. Anything? Might be. Okay. So yeah.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So okay. So basically, the primary difference between string and string pointer is mutable and immutable. So every time you are appending, you can think like something like this. Every time you are appending anything in a string, what it's going to do, it's completely erasing your memory and reassigning it to another memory. It's something like you have you are preparing any food, and every time you have to do any insertion of any particular ingredient, you'll put it back into bowl and put that ingredient in that, and again put it in a cooker. But what is in a string builder, what it do? So you'll put that cooker, and you put one ingredient, then second ingredient, then third ingredient, the fourth ingredient, and when everything is finished, you'll put it in on particular location. You got this example?
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay. So every time you are appending anything, in a short, every time you are appending anything, what it's doing, it's erasing that previous memory or making free that previous memory and creating a new memory location. But in a case of a string builder, it's not doing that. What it's doing, it's appending on that same location. So every time location. So in this picture, you have to see the memory location. What happening at the memory location?
Okay. In front of memory, in case of a string, always new memory will be old memory will be erased and new memory will be
Erased
for the
erased is only happening when garbage collector is doing their job. But what it's doing, it's changing its reference to a new location. You can
okay,
see.
okay,
Okay.
okay. So, sir, can we check this by the programmable memory is
Yes.
going to
Yes.
referring?
Yes.
So it
So
in
you,
future we will never forget this such type of concept,
so,
and we are
so this is
able
a
to define.
this is a task for you.
Yeah, I
Create
will
an
try to this.
application.
Yes, yeah, I will do this, and I.
Okay. If you'll find
Uh,
anything fishy in that, connect to us and we'll explain
Okay.
why it happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. I will do this. Okay. It's yeah. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
Dharmendra, can you see my
Yes,
screen?
sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So here we have given string, and here we have given string builder, right?
Yes. Yes.
Then here it is equal, right?
Yes.
And here there is no equal. We are just appending the things. Means whatever the memory is already allocated, just append inside that value.
Okay.
And here we are putting it equal to then whatever the previous is, then new one. What will happen? It will again refresh, again give the memory that perform the task it will perform. Here it will append only.
Okay. In this case, memory will be same. Other than in case of string, memory will be changed.
It will keep changing.
Yes, sir.
It will keep changing.
It will
Like,
be.
like
Yes.
if I have here.
I understand this concept, sir, because when as my mouse is moved to debugger moved to one string F10, then the value of my previous will be changed.
Right. Then should we move next then?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank
you
you
so much, sir, for
So
this.
anyone have any other question?
Yeah.
No, sir.
Yes.
Now we can move for the
Yeah, Pradeep.
event.
Pradeep continue. Pradeep have question. Pradeep
So
continue.
which one is better to use string or string builder?
It depends upon the requirement. If I have lot of things which keep changing, then we should go for a string builder. And if it is changing 1 and 2 time only, then we should go for a string.
Mhm. Okay.
Any other question? Yeah. Yes. Look, you are saying something. Continue. Continue.
Yeah. So sealed class will be, yes, I have a question. Sealed class is valid the rule of solid principle?
Maybe due to some network, I'm not able to hear you. Can you repeat, please, again? Question was related to sealed
Yeah.
class, right?
I'm saying that sealed class. Yeah,
Okay.
sealed class is valid. That means valid the rule of solid principle.
Okay. So your question is that sealed class is means valid the rule of solid principle, right? Okay. First, we need to understand that what is
Yeah.
sealed class. Means which the class which I cannot inherit, right?
Yes.
Which only I
Correct.
have to create the object, then I can use. Then it will volatile the rule
Yes.
of open close principle. Everyone is agree?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
As we know that what is open close principle,
Yes.
and sometime interviewer asks that, hey, can I inherit the sealed class? We can simply say that no. Sealed class means we just need to create a object of that, and whatever the property I have defined inside that, we can use that. Ajay sir, meanwhile, continue with the discussion of difference between event and delegate. I'm coming within 2 minutes. Hello.
Yes, yes. Basically,
Yeah.
seed class we can use while making the class as a like singleton pattern when we are using. So it is by default sealed, means no one can inherit that particular singleton class or a pattern. So it is also useful in that scenario.
You're wondering if I'm some kind of a decoy to lure you out. I'm not as safe here. No need for any of this marathon man stuff. It's definitely safe, okay? No need to interrogate a man that's waited months and months just to talk to you. Pulling a knife.
Any
Frank
other
walks over
question
to him, jabs it with his hand,
from anyone?
and cuts off the lid. He wipes off the blade on Micro's arm. You're trying to intimidate me. And I'm not like reassuring you or. Frank eats beans off the knife. You know, your response wasn't good.
Yeah, I am back now. So, so the question is how we do code review. So we have to discuss that code review also, right? How we do the code review.
Yes,
Anyone
yes.
who can put some highlight about code review?
Yes,
Continue, Pradeep.
yes, in code review, we check the number of commented line removed from the code. First is the, and second point is we take care of the function that we are not executing more loops in the program, and we also take care the database call, how many calls are doing in our programs. So in my point of view, these are points in code review. Yes.
Yes, basically we are having a two type of code reviews. One is like manual and second is like a automated through the tools. So
Okay.
in manual we can check like are we using a string or a string builder? Are we using like have are we having a comment proper or not? And we have disposed the connection or not, and that's it.
Yeah,
But
sir.
in case of
From my side, I will type. Each and everyone, we use the different technique in their organization for the code review. In my current project, we are using we created some checklist. On the basis of the checklist, we do the code review, like the variable which we defined and our coding standards. So we will define a variable in the form of camel case, and when we're doing the transaction on the screen, so we will log the transaction, and with the help of we have applied logging, proper logging or not, and we have to remove extra unused code, and other than things, we have also removed check the looping concept and the calling of the database activity, and how and there is a proper command for the every function. So uh, uh, when anyone can understand what this method is doing, use it for the what is the basic purpose of this, we have to such type of list we have. So we have follow all this in my current project. That's from my side.
Okay. So whenever we have a code review, first review is done by the as a PR review, the colleague who is working with us. And then we have a checklist for Angular, for Web API, and for SQL also, if we are changing anything in the script. And for the C#, we have used the ReSharper, right? ReSharper
Yes, sir. Yes.
as a third-party tool, where we define that the rule and regulation, the naming convention, all the things we define there, right? And then in the code review, we check the what is the unit test code coverage, whatever we are doing, that what is the coverage of that. Means 80% should be unit test should be there. And most of the things is already defined in the checklist. And while reviewing the code, if we get anything new that, hey, this is new, we need to add in the checklist, then we do a team discussion, and then we send that checklist for the code review then we add that point also in the code review checklist. So this is how we do that code review, right? Anyone have any questions on this?
Pankaj, what is the name of a tool that you
ReSharper. ReSharper.
It's ReSharper, sir.
Any other tool anybody is
Okay.
using in their project?
In my project, also ReSharper is using.
And for Angular, we are using TF-Lint.
No, sir. I'm.
it is inbuilt.
Yeah, Gyan, would you like to put some highlight related to code review?
Yeah. So before going further, I always start from the beginning. Why we need a code review? This is an important thing. Means
Yes,
why
yes,
we
yes.
need code review. So mostly when somebody is asking in interview that okay, what you do in a code review, so instead of giving these type of tools name or checklist or something, if you start trying to explaining why we need a code review, it'll give a great impact to any interview. This is means if you start with a story and then give your solid points like tools and all those, it'll give you a movement. So if I have to start with a code review, so exactly why we need a code review. So code review is used for any organization to set their standard, that okay, we are dealing with this type of standard, and because of these standard, our code is so much efficient that it will not break in any code transfers. If somebody wants that, okay, we have written any code and we want to give it to somebody else, so it will not break in that. It will not break in any security point of thing. It will not break in reusability. So, and it will not break any of the module which we want to implement. So these are the 4 key areas think that why we need a code review. So every company want that, okay, if some client is there and it want to pass this code to some other company for further integration and all those things, at that point of time the second company will not say that, okay, the code which you have written here is not that much of standard. So that's why a company need the code review. With that, if something is new coming, instead of dealing with all previous things, means in a hampered manner, it should be have a end point without any type of loose ends, so that it can be scale up for the future also. It will not break any security point of view type, like any type of JWT, AWS token, any authentication authorization process, or any network security. These are the checks. Why we need this? So this is the actual thing when we're sitting at a project manager level and we are saying that okay, we need a code review. At that point of time, it's in our head that okay, this is the reason why we need a code review. So for one person started that we are doing it manually and all those things, we are checking okay, all those comments are not here or here are not here. And the second person said that okay, we are putting the checklist that okay, these are the things like we have a naming convention, all those things, that everything is on or we have some test cases for everything, 80% should pass in that. So we should have that. So what is this? This is a standard of any particular company. To achieving that, we do the code reviews so that it will not get hampered. But before going on that, what document we required for a code review? So basically, as per my understanding, the first document what we required for a code review is a branding document. So what is a branding document? Branding document says that okay, I am this company, I have some standard, I have some thing. So if I go on, I'll come on the code review in some time. But this is what is branding. We have to understand branding. Branding, we all know that we are having shirt with the name of Park Avenue, and white shirt with the name of Park Avenue, and blah blah blah, multiple things. So what's a branding in that? The logo, the color, and all those things. Every M you are not seeing as a McDonald. M with a specific red color and yellow base, we called it McDonald. So this is called branding. So the same thing we required in a code level also, or in a design level also. So when we are doing a code review, we are putting it for the both position, like at Angular end also, and for means like a front end also, and for a back end also. If specifically going on a back end only, what we start looking for that okay, any code which we have written is readable or not. It can easily readable by other person. Let's suppose somebody gone, and I want to give this project to somebody else, so he can read easily those things. It's following the desired design patterns or not. Whatever design pattern we followed, it's following those or things or not. It's having the accurate securities in that or not. What we have mentioned in document, it's not necessary that okay, some people say that okay, we'll make application more secure by putting extra security. It's not required when we are doing code reviews to assisting that okay, this more security we have to put. That's not a great place to put that okay, this more security we have to put here. This is a place where we want to put it. It's in a branding document or declaration standard document, where we put these things. So that or in a language of Pankaj, checklist. Okay, I have a checklist that okay, it should go like something this, it will follow this principle and that principle or something like that. So first we'll look at okay, it's readable, it doesn't have a junk code in that, and all those things. And then we'll come on security level. Okay, we have a correct security which we have mentioned in document or not. If it's having any loose end or so, then we'll report that okay, the code will blast here, or we have not done the correct exception handling here. So these are the point which according to me we consider as a code review. That's from my side.
Okay. Then last question which we have, testing framework. Like in Angular, we do our testing framework by unit, Karma and Jasmine, right? And in Web API, we do unit testing, right? And unit. Anybody have done any other things related to testing? Like unit test. One we do a manual testing. Another we do as a automated testing, right?
Yeah.
So anybody want to put some highlight about this?
So
Yeah, Praveen.
what we easily see about the testing, that testing is for taking care that okay, application is running good or not, it's covering all the modules and all those things. So this is, we have two type of testing, manual and automated. Sometimes people are more curious about the automated testing, but I generally prefer manual first for writing the test cases when I'm sitting with my testing team during that thing. Just because all the logics we have to put there. Without logics, either N unit test, X unit test, any type of test, either it's Selenium, Karma, or anything will fail. So these are the means most common test work nowadays is the Selenium. I suppose you all heard about this Selenium.
Yes.
You heard about the Selenium or not? Um,
Yes, yes.
Pankaj.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes,
So
heard about it.
okay. In general, during the API and all those testing, means when we are doing a core or MVC, these type of thing, we use XUnit and unit testing in recent format till 2019. But when it's came to the microservice and all those things, but then in current picture, in current project scenarios, everything means any code can come from anywhere. We should have using the React, Angular at front end and something at a back end. So to starting from the front end means mostly people doing either in a manual testing or a back end testing. For back end testing, we have done it in, when we say that N unit and X unit testing, we do it in a code reviews also, just because it's a part of our code reviews also, that everybody is writing the test cases or not. So those are the tests. But when it's come to frameworks and all those things, so mostly Selenium framework, Karma, and NUnit, XUnit are the most famous frameworks which we use nowadays. For front end thing, Selenium and Python Selenium testing is viral nowadays. Means in that we put all those scenarios that if we'll click on this button, it will go somewhere on this page, and then that on this action it will go on that page. So in that we'll write a whole story in Selenium board, and that Selenium board will do that testing in a same manner. When we come on the X unit and N unit testing, we have used most of the time smoke and all those things in that, so that it can be easily done by that. So we write a small portion of actions which is calling that function, means a set of class which have in a set of action for a particular action, so that it's failing in this condition, it's passing in this condition, and we are putting, and on that N unit and X unit we are getting okay, all are passing, or anything is failing, or if anything is failing, then we are looking for the exception extracts for that, why it's failing and all those things. So this is how nowadays how everybody is doing the things. but this is my personal suggestion to you all for end unit testing, means client side testing. If you'll put Selenium word, it will impact interviewer more, and in that you don't need to worry about much things. It's a very simple logical concept what you are putting, and everybody knows that okay, what's a DOM, and those are putting on a DOM also. Those are just manipulating DOM. That's it. And if you know about the DOM, it'll easy for you guys. This is all from my side, Pankaj.
Okay, then we will say now bye bye. And the next topic which we are going to cover, that we will cover Auth 2.0 on next Saturday and Sunday. And some discussion we will do related to CSS and SAS, right? Because as a developer, sometimes we struggle to do work related to CSS. Then we will talk about that, how we can do little bit better, whatever we are doing as of now in CSS, how we can do something better, right? So we will discuss that also. Okay, then. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Pankaj.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Thank you. So bye bye, everyone.
Thank you.
And we will
Bye.
catch you same time on next week. Okay, bye.